Excellency, talking about security, just a while ago you led a national prayer for peace and stability in the country. Would you say the administration has done a lot, especially looking at what is happening in some part of this northwestern part of the country, the banditry in Katsina, Zamfara, and the rest of it?
Yes. First of all, we must agree that he inherited insecurity problem in the country that started right from the days of Boko Haram, at the tail end of Obasanjo administration, running into Jonathan administration, and also down to Buhari administration. It was a big problem that started from the northeast and then spread to some parts of the country. And also the issue of farmers' herders also started as a problem, which graduated into what I can call kidnapping, which also graduated into banditry. And also there are other security challenges, conflict, interreligious conflict, conflict as a result of tribalism, ethnicity, all such things were happening. So during his own administration, also, the problem was conspicuous and it was trying to get out of hand. But because of the efforts, especially, reshuffling the security apparatus, the military, the police, the DSS office, and also building a stronger synergy with the state governments, taking note that our forests are the major problems. I think the administration has done a lot, but the government alone cannot do it successfully 100%. There's need for community participation. There's need for major stakeholders in the society also to do their own quota so that we succeed in doing so. Those who involve in criminality, they are among us. They are from broken homes, so to say. So parents too have their own portion of blame. Because if parents were able to bring their children in a good way, I mean the issue of some people going into kidnapping, into banditry, into armed robbery may not be there. And also the issue of the ulama, the religious people, both the Muslims and the Christians, they have to do their own quota. And other citizens, everybody has to do his own quota. It is the responsibility of everybody. That is why here in Kano, this weekend, as today, I decided to gather the ulama so that we pray for peace and stability of our country. And also, not only that, we also have to imbibe the right attitude so that we use religion effectively. We have to look into the religion, the dynamic relationship between religion and governance, the dynamic relationship between religion and peace building, the dynamic relationship between religion and socio-economic development, so that we don't allow people to politicize religion to the extent that whatever the administration does, then issue of religion will come in. So that is why we decided to organize this national press.
About community participation, you elaborated already, but in recent time, there are communities where we see a lot of community members trying to engage these so-called bandits in what do you think is the best way to solve this crisis, especially in the Northwest?
I think the best way is to have a lot of intelligence. First of all, we have to agree that our forests are only forests to us, but the forests are now big cities to the bandits. So we have to plan in such a way that we get a lot of intelligence, a lot of information about how they do their own operation, so that we can strategize and we can prioritize, make a priority of how we tackle the bandits in the forest. Of course, the role of the security agencies, depending on the strategy that is being adopted, the Air Force, they have to do their own due diligence, and then the Army, the Navy depending on the environment, and also, of course, the police and the DSS. So the issue of sitting with the bandits, negotiate with them, personally, I don't appreciate that one. Because in Nigeria, having a gun without approval is illegal. Then how do you expect bandits to come from forest? Hundreds of them, each one with a gun, coming to sit down with local chiefs, chairman of the local government, traditional rulers, even with the police, and start negotiating. I think that system has failed, and it will continue to fail, because we are giving room to the bandits. We are arming them, because they normally, the negotiation is that they should be allowed to operate here and there. They should be given money. They should be given transportation, vehicles, motorcycles, and even telephone sets, fueling, money for logistics, so and so. So, in a way, we are giving them an enabling environment to operate. And by so doing, they will be able to enrich themselves through kidnapping, and that will give them more financial power to purchase weapons, which they will also use on us, and then we become panic, and then we call them for negotiation. So I don't think that is a good strategy. The best strategy is to get the intelligence and then plan well and see how we can attack them. Probably, if we are afraid that when we attack them in this forest, they will go to another forest, then we do simultaneous operation. And I think there is even nothing wrong in looking for technical assistance from those countries that are friendly, if we think that will be able to help us eliminate the problem.
Well, sir, let's talk politics now. The president may likely go against the likes of Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. Now Peter Obi has paired with Kwankwaso-Obi. Do you think he stands a chance against these contenders?
I don't think so. I don't think Peter Obi and Kwankwaso ticket will succeed in Kano. It will not succeed. In fact, it is dead on arrival, because Peter Obi was a governor in the Southeast geopolitical zone, a governor in Anambra State. What did he do as a governor? What legacy did he leave as a governor? And from that, what other responsibility in governance did he hold that he made a mark to the extent that we believe he will be able to manage this country effectively and efficiently. Kwankwaso-Obi, he was a governor of Kano State. He was not able to be a governor back-to-back. So far, the two other governors that administered Kano were able to win election back-to-back. Mala Ibrahim Shekaru was able to spend 80 years straight. Myself, I was able to spend 80 years straight, but he was not able, after first year, was not able to make it until after 80 years, then was able to come back. So I don't think, even in Kano, what legacy specifically can you say that he has left in Kano that will convince the people of Kano, will convince the people of Nigeria that he will be a successful vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? I think that, as I earlier said, is dead on arrival.
You want to highlight?
Well, yes, I think there are two very important issues. One, you see, we are talking of the development of institutions in Nigeria, because the success of any national development depends on the strength of its institutions. If our institutions are strong, then you can find that the issue of policy implementation is always successful. If our institutions are weak, no matter how good policies we have, then the issue of implementation is a problem. But in order to have strong institutions, which Asuwaju is advocating, is to ensure that capable hands are being provided with the responsibilities. And also the institutions themselves should be made to abide by their rules and regulations. They should have a culture. They should have identity. They should be known for following due process so that implementation of public policy will be assured. I think this is the issue that Asuwaju is trying to put in place so that our institution will be able to carry out the reforms that he has introduced. Another problem we have is those institutions that are absolutely necessary for the development of our democracy. We must have those institutions in the right structure and strength. If you look at the INEC, the reform that has gone into INEC with the introduction of electronic system, I think then it will be more efficient and more effective, and the election will be more credible. Also the security institution, which is absolutely necessary for conducting good election. That one too is an issue that we must look into. The political parties, I think we have so many political parties. And this high number of political parties is making INEC difficult to administer the election. If you look the size of the ballot paper, even educating members of the public is a problem. So I believe there should be a better standard of establishing political parties in Nigeria. to avoid the proliferation of political parties in the country. That is even making it easier, why people can easily pick a very weak political party and say they have adopted this as a political party. Once they are not satisfied, once they are having problem of internal democracy in their own political party, I think that is an issue that this country has to resolve. Another issue with the political parties is that our political parties do not have philosophy. Our political parties do not have ideology. Our political parties do not have boundary. Our political parties do not have an identified mission. That is why it is easy for people to cross from one party to another, because you are not attracted by the tradition and culture of the party. You are just, being influenced by your own personal interest. So our political parties should and must have ideology that is identifiable for the socio-economic development of this country. Because the manifesto of a political party should be based on the ideology of the party. But if in the absence of ideology, then anything goes. That is why we have so many nomadic politicians now, from one party to another, from one party to another, from one party to another. If you look at them, then how do you even trust somebody to rule this country while he doesn't have any conviction? All what he's looking for is platform. Yes, platform, but no ideology, no developmental tradition. How can he leave a legacy? I think there should be a conference whereby some parties will be encouraged to have ideology. What I mean by that, they must have principles, they must have well-structured political party, right from the ward level, from the unit level, the ward level, the local government level, the state level, and the national level, and also issue of internal democracy must be encouraged. By the same time, we have to imbibe the rule of law so that and also our own judiciary too must be put in a place that they will encourage democracy in this country. Because whatever you do, you may end up in the court of law. And if the judiciary is not doing what it is expected to do, that will also affect our election and that by implication the democracy. So these are issues that are very important for the sustainability of democracy in Nigeria. Another issue is that, as I earlier mentioned, people are using religion to cause disharmony in this country. People tend to identify themselves with the religion rather than identifying themselves with the religion and also the country of which is our own country. We have no other country better than Nigeria. So we have to examine closely what is the relationship between religion and governance. The dynamic relationship between religion and governance. First of all, religion should be able to encourage moral development, ethical development, transparency, honesty, because all religions do encourage people to be honest, to be moral uprightness, to be ethical. So the issue of accountability, if each religion will be able to make its followership to adhere to the teaching of that religion, then you find that governance will be more transparent. And also, if you look at the issue in terms of conflict, religious tolerance, we should be able to imbibe tolerance while we are practicing our different beliefs. Because each religion believes that other religions also exist. And if there is conflict, then there will be loss of blood, but I don't think any religion will encourage loss of blood irrespective of what type of faith you adhere to. Also, from what we know, religion can be used in the socio-economic development of the nation. Some religious organizations provide education. Some religious organizations provide health services. All these are religion, the role of religion in socio-economic development. We have to respect each other. We have to, believe that we are all creatures of God. And God, in his own wisdom, he decided to create people with different tribes, different cultures, different religions. If God decided that all of us will be Christians, all of us will be Christians. If God decided all of us will be Muslims, all of us will be Muslims. If God decided all of us will be birds flying, all of us will have wings flying about. So our diversity is the wisdom of God, and we should take our diversity to be our source of strength, not a source of weakness. So you can see a religion can play that in order to unite this country, so that people will believe in one another, so that national integration will be encouraged. And national integration, then that will encourage national development, it will encourage sustainability of development, it will reduce tribal conflict, it will reduce religious conflict, and once we have peace and stability, there is a better environment for us to develop our own country. I think these are issues that we need to examine.